Hello friends, my name's Cody and I look after developer relations here at LaunchDarkly. One of the coolest I-win moment for developers and platform teams when they use LaunchDarkly is that experience of having an application up right next to LaunchDarkly and you hit that feature release toggle and you watch the application change as you roll out a new feature or change some functionality in the platform. Now, in an enterprise situation, it's totally realistic. You probably have an application that you would use it in. But when you first come in and you do maybe our free trial or you're just exploring LaunchDarkly for the first time, having an application that you can modify and change requires a bit of work to get up and running. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use Replit, which is a really popular community development tool, and their company profiles and templates to get an application up and running with LaunchDarkly really fast. I use this process for a ton of demos and it works extremely well, so I'm excited to show it to you. Let's jump in and explore. Here we are in what's known as the flag dashboard. This is where you'll land after you either create a project or you jump into your LaunchDarkly account. Now, if it's a brand new trial account, you've probably ended up in this get started screen that has a bunch of really great content around getting started. But since we want to stand up an entire application, we're just going to hang out at this feature flags dashboard. I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to go to replit.com. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on templates. I'm going to do a search for LaunchDarkly. And you'll see a couple of templates that my team has created to make getting up and running on LaunchDarkly really easy. Replit gives you a development environment that you can code directly in, you can share with your teams, you can explore, run your application. It's a really great way to run code, make changes, and watch what happens. So we're going to jump into this your first feature flags with LaunchDarkly one, and I'm going to click this fork template. Now you can do this with Replit's free tier. You can use their hacker tier that gives you way better performance, will keep your application running all the time. There's a lot of benefits to it, so definitely check that out, but you can definitely do it on their free tier as well. On the right-hand side, you'll see the README that I built for this template. So this template has all you need from an application standpoint to get going, except for the connection back to LaunchDarkly, which we have to add. Inside of these steps, you'll see all the things you need to create. So there's a couple flags we have to do. Obviously, we need the free trial. I'm going to grab this step 4 and just skip ahead a little bit. And I'm going to create a Replit secret for this, which is going to create the connection between LaunchDarkly and my application. So I'm going to drop this variable in here. I'm going to hop into LaunchDarkly. I'm going to grab my SDK key. I'll type in copy SDK key for the environment and client-side ID. I got to that menu by pressing Command K on my keyboard or Control K if you're on Windows. So paste that in, add my secret, and start my application. This is going to run my application within the Replit environment. So this is all running inside of my browser. I don't have to download this locally at all. Application's coming online now. We can see that it's currently running. So if I pop into my files, I can see all the files for my actual application here. If I go down to index, we can see where I'm bringing in the LaunchDarkly client that's creating that connection back. And here's that property that I defined. So we've done all this for you in the template. You don't have to go and create this yourself and stand it up in your own application. You can explore it really quickly using this. Inside of my app file, we can see the feature flags I'm bringing in and some evaluation statements to understand what's going to happen if those flags are on or off. So back in my README file, if I go back into that on both left and right hand side, we can see there's a couple of feature flags I need to create. Both of these are Boolean flags, and I've included a description here that we can use to add into the create a flag screen. So I'm going to copy that, jump back into LaunchDarkly, and select create flag. This one was called login, and the description explains that it manages the login UI component. I'm going to check this box for SDKs using client-side ID. This is able to be set as a default setting when you create a new project, but since this is the default project, we're going to go ahead and check that box. I'm going to save this flag. And now, like any good magician, I'm going to bring up the application in a separate window so we can see nothing's changed yet. And I'm going to go enable that feature. So I'll toggle this feature on, save the change. And if we look at the application, we can see I now have this login screen here. Now this application is written in a way that I can do targeting rules or things that we use to control who can see a feature based off of a couple of different things like OS type or browser type. But having this logon screen lets me do targeting off of the user ID, which is something that's relatable to a lot of people, right? A lot of us want to be able to target specific users with changes or groups of users with changes. So the next example I'm going to do is changing the UI and using this user targeting to control that. So in LaunchDarkly, I'm going to go back to my feature flags dashboard. I'm going to do create flag. And I'm going to name this one new UI for the new UI I'm going to display. I'll hop back into Replit real quick and grab that sample text that I included for the description. Drop that in here. I'm going to check this SDK is using client-side ID again. And save flag. Now I'm going to do a couple of things different this time. I'm going to change my default rule to false. What this says is that anybody who connects to the application should not receive this feature enabled by default. They're going to receive false, but I'm going to target specific users with this change. I could do this in a couple of different ways though. I can set it statically here, or I could do this as part of a release workflow. And this is part of the beauty of having an application up and running that you can use to explore. I could test out things like workflows. So I could set up a workflow that at 2 a.m. rolls this change out and sets the targeting up for me. That's a different use case, but it's something definitely worth exploring. In this case, I'm going to come in and do add a user target, and then just type in Cody and enable the feature. That feature's on, and when I go back into the application, we can see nothing's changed. If I type in something like Brian, we can see nothing happens there. But if I type in Cody, we can see I get the new version of the application, and the features that I've implemented have rolled out to this individual user. So in just a few moments, we've gone from having nothing in place to getting this application up and running using Replit and being able to roll out several different feature changes in LaunchDarkly. As I mentioned, we could explore things like workflows. We could dive into some of our integrations. We could go in and use flag triggers to automate this inside of like a pipeline. When you're first getting started with a tool like LaunchDarkly, oftentimes having a platform that's safe to break and explore and try things out in is the biggest barrier. Using Replit's company profiles and those templates we set out give you a way to get this up and running in just a few moments. We can see how fast it was to get the application running and able to start feature flagging. But we want to hear about the different ways that you're looking at how to explore LaunchDarkly and use it for the first time. So reach out to us, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great one.